Hey guys, welcome back. We got some PSA concerns, and then we're gonna get into some GameStop cringe and deceptive marketing, backpedaling. I don't know, the defense. They're putting up the defenses. We're gonna get into that, but first we have the most pressing issue of the day, which is Preston, who says this is effing insane, and it only gets worse after this post. Triple crying face emoji. For context, all these Pika/Zex were sent to me by a friend to grade and sell for him with my next sub. I vetted each one and was expecting at least 10 to 12 gems minimum out of the 30. There is just no way. Now, a lot of people that get a sub back and they're like, oh, this is all wrong. Doesn't make any sense. And it does make sense because, again, it just depends which low-wage employee is going to put a numerical grade on your cards. Are they going to damage them? Are they going to lose them? What's going to go on with it? It is a crapshoot of the sort. Now, usually nothing bad is going to happen. Usually people are going to be like, oh, I'll just resubmit. And PSA is going to be fine with that. Because if you get a 9 and you're supposed to get a 10, or you should have got a 10, and you send it back in, they get those juicy grading fees all over again. Now, keep in mind, I guess we'll go through all of these for the record here. That's a lot of 9s. That's just somebody mashing the 9 key, just shipping it in for the day. Surely that's all it is, right? Well, no, it doesn't seem that way, because Preston follows up with, okay, so in an absolutely wild turn of events, apparently some of these literally graded a 10, but PSA falsely told me they were 9s. Some of these slabs that were originally marked as 9, I sold back to PSA at their PSA 9 buyback value, but now if you look at the cert, it's a 10. What? They bought PSA 10s from me for less than PSA 9 value because they showed me the wrong grades, or did they change them after the fact? I hope this is a glitch. I hope this didn't impact anyone else. Go back and check your certs. Anything that you sold to PSA. Let me know if this happened to you. Discord, general chat at me. Make sure I see it. So thank you to everyone who sent me this bad boy. We got 10s. PSI offer $34. 10, 10, 10. And yes, they do line up with the same cert numbers as those in the preview. Offer accepted. What is going on here? How did that happen? That doesn't look good. Hopefully that didn't impact a lot of people. If it did, I would expect PSA to go in and verify all of that on their own, to make sure that every single person that traded in one of those cards. And the thing is, too, if he wanted to keep the 10s, if he didn't want to sell the 10s back for the buyback price, then you got to make sure that he gets those cards back. That's scary stuff. All right, Auburn says, I've shared and directly communicated with PSA card enough times about these. It's just laughable seeing another fake pass authentication other than the actual base card. What is authentic? So we got people adding a signature. The signature is probably forged. The number is probably forged. And whoop-de-doo, it's going to pass through. And yes, they did deactivate those. They do like to deactivate and clean up their mess when it's inexpensive to do so, relatively. Or especially if you're the one that graded it and you haven't sold it yet. That's a pretty easy deactivation, free of charge. Now they upcharge. They charge you more for more expensive cards because they say that they have a guarantee, but surely that doesn't play into account on something that is very expensive, as we have our token example that we'll keep checking in on. So you need to know if the cards are fake. You need to know if the card deserves the grade. Even if you like graded cards, if you want graded cards, if you want to grade your cards, you need to be the expert. You cannot rely on the low-wage employee who is putting them in there. They are not an expert. They might be a professional, since it's in the name and they're doing it for work, but they're not. You got to make sure that the card isn't altered as well. Speaking of, we got Sergi Boy, who says, I went to a PSA authorized card store and group submission service in Austin. I noticed that they use and sell Kurt's card altering and cleaning products. Should PSA ban their account, considering the store engages in a card altering as a practice service and sells products intended to do so publicly? Absolutely. Yeah. They shouldn't want anything to do with this. They should be working on methods to detect and prevent this stuff from getting out, because it's altered. It's fraud. If you alter a card and you do not disclose it to the person you're selling it to, it is fraud. It doesn't matter if you sneaky deek it past the grading company. It's still altered. It's still fraud. Congratulations, you're a fraudster. Now this includes trimming, coloring, even if you're pressing out a juicy crease, you're going to press that crease out of there. There's still internal damage. And yes, we've seen, even SGC has the ability to scan a card and find out if there's internal damage on that card. But they're not going to do that for all the cards. Why are they not doing that for all the cards? PSA owns them now. They have the technology. Why can these not all just go straight through? It doesn't need to be AI. It does not need to be super scientific. Buy the devices. Make sure that there's not internal damage. Make sure you're not accepting anything from people. Like, how did you vet them at all? Did you go, are they selling it? You didn't take a look at the store and say, like, oh yeah, they're altering cards. They're selling altering products that people are going to use before they submit their cards. Collectors do not want this. The people that don't care about this or brush it off, oh, it's just cleaning. It's just cleaning. No, polishing is not just cleaning. Polishing is removing the surface of a card around the scratch to make the scratch less visible. Collectors do not and would not pay the same price for an altered card if you disclose it, and unless you're committing fraud, they're not going to buy it from you. Swoop-de-doo. All right. So what do we got here? We got a juicy little example that we need to close out of. We got Sergi Boy with, we handle your cards with care, also PSA. And this is all the grading companies. This is not just like, oh, Rattle hates PSA. I don't grade my cards. I don't see the value in it. Again, if you see the value in it, just make sure you're doing the extra steps, that you're the expert, and not just blindly relying on the grading company or the grader to tell you if it's real or not. Again, the fraudsters love the grading companies because they can, like, ooh, people are going to believe. People are going to believe if I get it in that case. And then we have the grading companies who will allow the fraudsters to continue to submit. And then, oh no, someone discovered that they have a big account. If they can make money, they're going to make money, including working with fraudsters. So we got PSA here who had a card submission, and they put a big old juicy dent in it. This is why I say less hands the better. Do not submit through a GameStop. Do not submit through a card shop. Do it yourself. If you want to grade cards, make sure you know what you're doing because you can easily lose money. As I've always said, it's a noob trap. Grading the wrong stuff is just the easiest way to delete money, maybe outside of like the GameStop lottery. GameStop slot machine. Not an arcade machine, even though they made it look like one. Just more chance of damage, more chance of getting lost, getting stolen. All right, Birdie18 here has a question for us. Question for everyone. A question for the Void on X. Says, how is this possible? Please explain. PSA card, Nat Turner. Card purchaser. What's going on here? How are these both threes? The one on the right looks way cleaner. And the answer to that is the grades, whether it's PSA or anyone else, as they get lower, they are more meaningless. More inconsistent, more meaningless. If you sent these two cards back in, they're probably also not going to get a 3. That's kind of what it comes down to. It's as simple as that. Now, for anyone out there that's like, yeah, but PSA cares. They're going to deactivate the fake stuff. They're going to do the right thing. They're going to accept our extra fees that we pay on top of stuff because there's a guarantee. Surely they're going to clean up their mess every single time, even when it costs $240,000. They're not. So we have a couple videos here that we're throwing back to. We got the $240,000 scam and mistaked. We got a trimmed card. It is clearly trimmed. There is part of the card missing. The cards are all very consistent in size. This is not like old sports cards that were hacked up and could be bigger, could be smaller within a certain range. They're all the same size. Put your cards up together, hold them together. Whoop-de-doo, they're all right there. This one's missing a whole lot off the bottom, and it's not even a straight cut across the bottom. It's missing more on the left-hand side. Not to mention the fact that it was submitted by, in my opinion, and based on my research, a couple card trimmers, sports card trimmers, that, along with the submission of other altered cards. We're going to have to go back and take a look and see if the other ones. Also a nice little tie-in to the recent scandal with the Probstein stuff and the accounts, verified accounts. And here it is, still live, still active. Someone can still get absolutely D'd in the A if they don't know what they're doing and they buy a very expensive card. And yes, it's on the high end, it's on the low end. They're more likely to clean it up on the low end because it's cheaper to do so. But what are the fees on a PSA 10 first edition base Charizard if you graded one right now? They can't clean this shit up? Clean it up. All right, hats. Had someone say, "Oh, Rattle, why you say you don't want us to buy the hats, but you keep showing the hats." I'm showing you the hats. This is the last video mention of the hats. I'm showing you the hats because I know there's going to be a handful of people that didn't see the announcement of the hat, and they're going to be like, "Rattle, can I still get one?" No, you can't. It's one-time order. Same thing, once a year. That's what it is. They're expensive. It's the hat that I want, but people insist that they want to get one regardless of it being an expensive hat. Not a good way to financially support. This is your last chance. Get it in. Get your order request in. Get your payment made because I got to order those hats soon because people want them. All right. If you do want to financially support, before we get into the GameStop shenanigans, and my God, it's just GameStop is just so embarrassing. If you if you want to support financially, the best ways to do so are the free ways to do so. We got PSA Pikachu, we got Securus Card Shop, Card Market, Buyee, a couple of different options there. If you want to shop in Japan, you can save some money on your first purchase. Collector app for tracking your collection. A bunch of discount codes for the stuff that I use and recommend. Save some money while you support the channel, and then some click before you shop for the things that you're going to buy anyway. Thank you to everyone that does. Much appreciated. Rather than send me money, I'd rather you guys go just buy what you're going to buy. Take a couple seconds. Use the free ways to support. Free ways are the best ways. Everything will be free, always will be free that I publish. No paywallerinos or anything stupid like that. All right. Card Market. Take you to Card Market for sponsoring. Singles are your friend. Don't be ashamed to buy and collect raw cards. Raw cards are great. A lot of people that used to collect graded cards moved into raw cards because it's more affordable. And also, if you can get something that looks like it just came out of the pack for a fraction of the price of something that's got a label on it that some low-wage employee put, where's the enjoyment? Just buy more cards. Same with like grading fees. Like you're paying grading fees to have the big plastic chunky slab, which offers no additional protection over putting it in your own chunky piece of plastic. Do you see where I'm going with this? Anyway, be careful with the singles, though. There is some manipulation in the market going on, so avoid that. And avoid anything that like just drastically spikes in price. Chances are it'll retrace. It might not ever go back to the lowest it's ever been. And then also avoid the brand spanking new stuff that everyone's chasing, because that usually has a giant premium on it, and it won't be the brand new thing that everyone's chasing after the next thing is the brand new thing that everyone is chasing. Whew. Miguel says GameStop is the most effing cringe thing in the universe. Laughy emoji. And what's he referring to? He's referring to this little, they're like Pokemon AI slop promoting. What the fuck? Wait, we got the games. Oh no, it's not working. Hold on, let's refresh. Refresh. We got it. No, I don't want that. I want this. There we go. We're back on track. We got the AI Gengar. Some of them are like really, really terrible, like comically terrible. But like I see like maybe someone out there is posting AI. What is that, Charizard? I don't think it quite got the point of Charizard. We got sparks coming out of Ghastly, Pikachu, GameStop, and terrible writing. We're accidentally promoting Wendy's and her face is glitching out. They're eating burgers. We got a Vaporeon with 6 legs, 5 legs, 6 legs. All kinds of weird shit going on. Just pretty embarrassing stuff. Oh, it's Moonbryon, guys. It's jumping to the moon. I don't know. People don't like AI. Usually I'm not like that, like anti-AI or whatever you want to call it, but like what are we doing with that? It just seems like a lack of professionalism, I guess. So a couple days ago, we touched on the articles and the GameStop post here, all the articles that were a result. Journalism, games journalism especially, is just the sloppiest, laziest trash for the most part, not all of it. But of course, as I mentioned in this video, people are going to say, oh, $30,000 trade-in, sick. But then they kind of missed the point that it was a Power Packs buyback program, which is heavily incentivized or heavily benefits GameStop itself because you pay fees to put the thing back in the pool of gambling. So I called it. It was going to happen. It was bound to happen. We got My Mixtapes, who posts someone traded in a Pokemon card at GameStop store during Trade Anything Day and was paid $30,000, the most valuable single trade in GameStop's history. Holy shit, could this be more wrong? Like, holy hell. It wasn't for trade. It had nothing to do with Trade Anything Day. And we got more AI images. Holy shit. At least they posted the actual Gengar, the Skyridge Gengar there. Hobby Hero calling it out says, this absolutely did not happen. This is what happens when you just read the Cliff Notes. Do people still know what Cliff Notes are? No, you gotta, the article was not long. Is that too many words? Or is it game of telephone with games journalism and people posting that like it just turns into nonsense slop that didn't happen? And you think that's bad. You think that's bad. Surely GameStop is gonna clarify that this was not a traditional trade-in, right? We got a nice little video here from Boston Card Hunter. Let's see what he has to say.
Walked into GameStop and got a $30,000 payout on this card. The funniest part about it, though, is GameStop acknowledging the trolls publicly. This has to be one of the dumbest statements I've ever seen a company make.
Holy hell. Any trolls who publicly claim that GameStop trade-in values are bad are hereby factually and demonstrably incorrect, the statement said. Any prior and ongoing objections to our trade values are now deemed without merit and factually invalid. It wasn't a trade-in. It was your fucking buyback program on your gambling site. Holy fuck.
In public. They think one high-profile $30,000 sale erases all the crappy ones. You know, like 50 to 80 on a high end and 30 to 50 on the low end. So no, the trolls are not hereby factually incorrect. They are with merit. Someone walked...
So as he mentioned, it also doesn't, it's not like, oh, one trade-in. Even if this was a one trade-in and it was a real trade-in and it was somebody that physically walked into the store with their card to sell GameStop and it wasn't a buyback on their slot machine, it still would not matter. All the games that you bought for pennies from people, all the cards that you bought, there's a reason why people laugh. Why people don't trade their cards in that know what the hell they're doing to GameStop, short of something being a mislabel or whatever. Holy hell, what is this hobby becoming? It's just holy. I can't wait for this, like the boom for things to cool off, and I hope like a lot of this stuff goes away. Like the whole gambling part is just shady trash. The whole like, oh God, it's bad. It's so bad.